Okay, the next thing I need to do then is delete everything that isn't the arm and the rig. So, back into the layers tool. There we go. Sorry, sometimes the recording tool goes a bit weird, so I had to make sure it was still working. Okay, so I'm going to hide everything, and then I'm going to unhide my rig and my powerfist arm. Okay, now the rig's going to actually sit inside the arm, so I don't need this bit to make it work, so I'm just going to hide this selection. Okay, and basically my rig is going to run from here down to here. These parts here are going to be independent. So what I can do is just go animation, IK solvers, history independent solver, and just click here. And then if we look, yeah, we've got this going on. Yeah, which is what I wanted. So happy times. Now I'm just going to clear the hose away for a second. So let's see. I'm going to rebind this actually because I'm not 100% convinced that this dummy here is doing a particularly good job for what it's supposed to do. Okay, now what I need to do is set some limitations on movement. So first of all, let's look at this. Inverse kinematics, and we can do limited to and from. Don't want very high amount there. Now we can have to and from set here, so hang on, that's preferred angle at a set there. Try that again. 2 from and limit it, and again on this one 2 from, wrong way, and limit that. Okay, next this part here. So check which ones we want them to move on. We don't want it to move on that, so we'll make it inactive. Don't want it to move on this, so we'll make it inactive. We do want to make it move on this one though. And we want it to move to a maximum of about here. From around about here. Okay, that gives it a good range of movement really. Now this one, we're going to have a maximum movement to here. You can see the pistons basically locking into itself, and a minimum movement. Again, work it out the same way. There, you can see locking into itself. Turn off the other 2, and make this one limited. There we go. Now, this part here, which is the arm itself, we're going to limit this one's movement as well, so from and to. I think that's a good limit actually there already. Limit that one. Now limit this one. And this is the amount of rotation we're prepared to let it have. Turn it the other way. There we go. Limit that one. And again here. So from there to round about there and limit. Okay, so as you can see, this gives us a lot more limitation on our movement for our arm. However, it also means that, basically we're constraining the movements very heavily, which is what we need. Okay, let's go and find where this all ends and where my chain is. There's my dummy. There it is. No, that's not it. Where is it? My end chain. Gosh darn it. Well, at least we can see how it's working. Left viewport and zoom. Just trying to find out where my IK chain is. I've got this horrible feeling that it's sitting inside. Yep, here it is, the upper torso. When it should actually be inside the powerfist arm or the rig. Let's put it in rig. Right, there we go. Now I can test it again. It's nice because it's moving properly now. All the parts are moving together the way they should. It's got lots of limitations on movement, which is what it's supposed to have. But aside from that, it is moving properly. Okay, what I need to do now is make a controller for it. So what I'm going to do is build an arm control. And for this, I'm just going to use a circle. And just make sure that it's being built in the rig area. Okay, rendering, enabling viewport, and just increase the thickness a little bit. Just flip it over. Then I'm going to use this, convert to editable spline, and I can attach the other one to it. There we go. Right, now I need to align this with this piece all hidden inside here at the minute. Click OK. So now we can see where it is, and I'm going to bring this out to here. Okay, so this is our arm control. Okay, now what I can do is just grab my IK chain, if I'm very lucky, and I'm going to drag it to this. Okay, and now what that means is I can basically control my arm using this. Now if I want more control, I should move it closer to the wrist really. So let's move it in here where it was originally. There we go. And instead I'm just going to increase it in size, like so. Okay, and now link it. No, not like that silly thing. There we go. Difference being now that I'll have slightly more control over my arm using the rig here. Okay. I'll also do this. Bring it right out and right in. So that's good. Okay, and obviously the fingers have a good degree of control, and I can attach a slider to spin this should I want to. Okay, what's next? Just unhide all. looking at this, and I need to sort out this hose on the back here. So, what's the foot lookout controller? I really don't want to be messing with that. Let's make a new dummy. Check auto grid. Okay. This hose have its bottom object here. Now let's check the orientation of this piece. And bind it into place. Still moving the wrong way. Let's just rotate that on its local axis. No, that hose is definitely going in the wrong direction. Okay, pull this off. It's going to have to be a case of rebuilding this one again. So what I'm going to do instead is build a dummy on the actual end of this. Okay. And my bottom object go here. Right, now just a case of adjusting this in the local. And 90 degrees this way. You get the feeling sometimes that it's just being an arse deliberately. There we go. Now let's see if we can move this thing. Yeah, I can move that thing, and the rest of it's moving okay. Let's try and get it to move into here where I need it. Okay, now let's try it. Let's look at what this is inheriting. Let's not inherit any rotation. There, that's better. If it doesn't inherit any rotation, then it's a lot better. Okay, let's just move the gun up into the rest position. And I'll just rotate this down so that this is in the relaxed position, like so. There we go. Now let's try it. There, that's better. Okay, so powerfist is in the right place and working at last. So let's unhide all the parts. There we go. Okay. So apart from being a little bit on the chunky side, if I just check my statistics, I mean it's only 236,000 polygons. I mean there's a lot of detail packed into this, but if I turn off wireframe view, as you see, I'm still getting a fairly good speed and refresh on my computer. So with this piece done, it's time to move on to some other fun things that don't really involve quite as much modelling. So until we do that bit, I'll see you in the next part. Bye bye for now.